Kunzata ghetto. Peboko kontabe.
Out of Date says there'll be consequences of the war, but there are more pressing matters at hand.
Ko bubuye buy.
The last Worldeater has been left undisturbed with the tree while you focused on the war.
Iboda kelmok. Mauketo tolu ayadre.
He thought someone with your light perspective and key would have had different priorities and faced the Worldeaters before resolving the tribe war.
Mauketo tolu ayadre. Kuchai. Hifar befarbe.
Regardless, Out of Date is grateful the tribe war is over.
Koibe o korfabe.
Out of Date understands the road has been rough, but you already know what's left to end this journey, and it'll be tough.
Fofo bakwa papamu.
You're the only one that's strong enough to face the last Worldeater.
Ugambun ang ugagadye promo wufu.
The future depends on someone with a light perspective to give the world a chance to survive.
Lotu lupayo.
Only time will tell what the future holds, and if it will bring a lasting peace for those that make it to the end.
Empaso tompupu bukoye.
Out of Date says the word about what you've done so far is spreading. The tribes haven't lost hope yet.
Lotu lupayo. Ye mufurpo. Bumu.
He appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's had urgent news from his friend Wiz in the Northwest.
Tikama perna.
He's unsure about your intentions, but hopes you'll support Wiz.
Loa tolu tum.
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Wiz and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's hunch is real. The Murk puff is up next.
Farfarifto. Tuka kubu. Sentuatan pop kila.
Out of Date says that Wiz is worried now that the Northwest Worldeater is stepping up its activity.
Tulua ba volua.
He explains that Wiz is working on an undersurf vessel in order to get to the Worldeater, but needs help to get it done.
Bubuko von vunvun toledrea ya maoloa.
Out of Date suggests that you should head northwest as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Bubuko von vunvun.
He's happy to help.
Ya, sawata mua.
Understands you have other places you need to go. Keep on tracking down here and things will look up eventually. squint into the oncoming light. You've discovered FNACKYLEAVES, the densest jungle in the land. Better get hacking. Finding things both here and there. There's a serenity about this spot. It's a place for rest and recovery. When day... Heroes are only heroes for others, but they do the work, or they're heroes to no one. Another quarrel spot. Back in the days there were things here. Now it's all gone. When a story comes to you, pay attention. That's a CHUGHUT. Probably no chug-chugs in it, but you never know. Plastic scrap like that over there could be useful. Look at that metal scrap over there. If you close your eyes hard enough to reality, your mind opens to let memories in. That's one way to remember what's forgotten. When an unwanted memory intrudes on the mind, it is a natural reaction to want to block it out, or just change it. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. I was wondering when you'd recall how to spring the automaton air gliders. Growl it into a higher gear. Ah, plastic scrap like that always comes in handy. The SURGESURF factory. Keep your eye out for Wiz while you're here. Let's see. Toxanol's mining led to mass deforestation and increased global warming, as nature couldn't absorb the carbon dioxide and greenhouse gas emissions without the trees. These irreversible changes to the climate also contributed to the evolution and modified our genetic code. This could be the beginning of the end of everything. Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod? Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memories get murkier the deeper you go. But says it helps to have friends with you to plumb those depths. They've been here for you since you were a kidling, but when you left, you also chose to distance yourself from everyone that cared for you. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Lupa Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever, but you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what. He knows that though the tides of history may push you in one direction, you can always lay your own course. Ultimately, it's your choice. You were the one to be wronged and have lived with the consequences. He believes in consequence as it's a direct result of action.
There's a bright day coming!
Hey, that's going to get you burned!
The only one getting burned around here is you.
That stinks.
Oh, do you want some first aid for that?
Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really has it. Did you make the decisions that brought you here, or are you just a pawn of fate? Glad to hear that. He only wishes he was that sure about himself. Amazed the world is going to continue on, but happy to hear it. Still so many things to invent. Impressed that you fought so hard to keep the world spinning. Thinks you were smart to join with the Myriad. They have a rainbow of ways to approach any problem. Thinks that kind of diversity brings strength. But that's not nearly as important as this. Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths, but there's something else down there too, gnawing at the Tree of Life. He's named it the Murk Puff. This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the Octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-go-in. He can't leave the surge station, so you must help him find a tug twister. There's a wound-up Mekafingro in the MEKASTADIUM that still has one stuck on its back. Find it, and you'll find the tug twister. It's definitely made to lend a helping hand and do the heavy lifting. Toxanol records mention it as an automaton made for moving bionucleus matter into storage areas. You can see so much farther in the light. Scrap's great for building things. BANGSHELTER 11E. Just the place to ride out a storm. It's a cold zone. Even a thick coat of fur is enough to keep you warm here. What could see you sneak up on them through this? An old home. Could be something to it. You found a brick-brack that's not absolutely flat. Found some e-waste. Worthwhile. Don't want to point a finger, but the MEKASTADIUM is nearby. Fill your fists. Low. Great shot. Oh, yeah. The tribes need someone to unite them. Someone locked it solid. Nothing simple. It's locked. Just a few moves left. Make them count. A biohazard like that can make you need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's too much distress. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. A pause place. Probably cleaned out, but you never know. He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need something slick. Well, he means slick as in greasy, so you can lube the hinges of the lid. He can't argue against the fact your fur's shiny. He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out. He knows his old friend Choo-Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow. He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler. The Murk puff is crunching bark by the minute.
Non pagkaranibi pala. Nirawam estamat karado.
Wiz heard he's currently stranded at the end of the line, so it should be easier to track him down now compared to when he's running rails. Look at the notices on that board. No one paid much attention to them, it looks like. Wiz should be around here somewhere, probably taking care of his guppos. A SURGESURF factory was one of the cleaner ways to make power, until the surf turned into goo and clogged it all up, that is. The thicker the surf became with goo, the more the machinery clogged up and stopped working. Like most things from the bygone. There are sure to be more tracks around here, maybe by the shore. What could see you sneak up on them through this? An old MUNCHHOUSE. Imagine having hot food brought to you. That's a PUTTIUPPER PLAZA. Some were actually trying to build something before it all started to end. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo-Choo here. It's a fine way to ride. Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wire. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Wired up and ready to go. You look civilized. Smart to protect your melon. Disgusting. Biohazard. Just gross. You need to swivel the globus's bearings. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Choo-Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. The rails might be getting rusty, but eventually they all converge on him. Says the name is Choo-Choo, and he likes to ride the rails. Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track or look for a way to hit that switch? You seem like you're on the right track already. He just hopes you don't get sidetracked onto a darker path. Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be. Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. If you could go back, would you switch tracks or keep chugging along the one you're on? Thinks everyone has. No one's perfect every time. Seems like the world came out of its rut and is chugging toward higher ground again. Can't thank you enough for hitting the brakes and working to turn the world chug around. But let's not get derailed. Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out, but sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station. As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo-Choo. He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to stay positive regardless of the situation. Says sometimes life runs off the rails, but it's always better when they're good and greased. He's convinced the tracks are like the paths our lives take, and you must deal with the outcome, even if you didn't lay them yourself. This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wingnut to get back on track. Wingnuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugger out there. The challenge is taking them off, so he's happy you're here to do it for him. Says he knew you would, like he knows the way the rails run. Best part of a mount? No need to refuel. The WINGNUT Chug Tunnel. It goes on forever. dented that one good. It's a wild sensation to be away from the open air. That's just awful. Watch your step around here. You should be able to use that. Halfway there. You're on the ropes. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Choo says he knew you'd come through. If someone makes a stop at your station, it's for a good reason, but he understands no one gets their tracks greased for free. He'd be happy to part with his spare grease sprinkler, as he believes it's a great fit for any of your business that needs to be unstuck. He keeps it safe in a box on the handcart, in case of emergency. It's on the cart. He wants to keep it close by. In general, you won't have much time to act in case of an emergency. Choo says you should help yourself to the grease sprinkler. It's a versatile tool from the bygone, a last of its kind, so don't let it go to waste. He's convinced you'll put it to good use, as there are lots of stuckies out there that need greasing to open. Seems glad you think so. You're on the right rail. Choo says he can't wait to get out of this place. Says you should take it easy. You shouldn't worry about smashing up the box. Choo has no use for it now. Choo says he feels strongly about helping his next, just like you did for him. He's convinced there was a bigger reason you met. Sometimes the wrong train will take you to the right place. He believes you've got what it takes to make a difference. He's witnessed it himself. Says he can't see the end of your rails, but if you grease them up good, he hopes you'll enjoy an easier ride. Choo-choo's thrilled you found the Ark. Just imagine how much faster than a chug that thing must be, and no rails needed. Needs no rails, no roads, nothing but air. The world's on the mend, so no need to leave it. But just think of all the places the Ark could take you. Says he's happy to see the Ark in your hands. Knows you'll go great places with it and do some good. Wonders who you might call aboard the Ark with you.
So, what we have here is an opportunity to help your next. There's a seat open on the Ark should you want to offer it as a gesture of appreciation.
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself and me, of course, but I'm a part of you, so that doesn't count.
If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. The only one we'd want to get away quickly from here is darkness.
But you know you can't go on without me. Even if I'm bad company, I complete you.
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better to be alone than in bad company. But best of all is being good company yourself.
After spending a life on the rails, he's eager to ride the skies with you. Just let him pack his rollerboard and he'll roll aboard. Choo says he's ready to pack up and leave. Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. Just keep climbing. You can shake the rain off later. Wiz says that there's no plan to confront the Murk puff until the Octopod is properly armed.
Para iguvante vaker.
He's happy to tell you that the cannon he's been working on now just needs ammunition.
Kapining kai kalay.
He says his old friend Boom makes all things that go bang.
Velir nila chale.
There's a rumor that some of Boom's Pyrosticks shot off and are out there roaming free.
Mu mikakuma. Kapining kai kalay.
You should keep an eye on the horizon for pyros. If you're fast, you have a shot at catching some of them before they go off.
Gamuka.
He's a peculiar little fellow that's been fiddling with splodies since he was a kidling. It runs in his blood. Their family recipes pack a punch. That there is a fume foundry where toxanol processed go juice. Find us a sunset to ride into. That's a bang club, where toxanol used to make all sorts of splody things before it blew up in their faces. Looks like some solid wood scrap there. The light of day shows how bad the world has become. looks like an unbanged pyrostick on the loose. Better catch it before it goes off. This is all about you. Whether you succeed or fail, it's on you.
Minä veo palam uskos.
The pyrosticks will cause a bang, but targeting is on you. At least now you have a chance to hurt the Murk puff where it counts.
Uliana vakantalo ulatu. Malo anja pambalaga.
He hopes so, as there's no Plan B, or more correctly, Plan C. Out of Date has named this Plan B. Plan A was to take on the Worldeaters by foot, or flaps in this case. Turns out swimming down there was a bad idea.
Nan pala kumpiav perukan.
Wiz has been working on another cannon, but instead of pyrosticks, it squirts guppos. Scaly distractions for anyone with an appetite disorder, and irresistible for the Murk puff in particular.
Uliana modambambaktian. Ninkanabamkatal.
Seems the best way to find guppos is go talk to Gill. He has a natural sonar and knows where the guppos sub the surf.
Palam kachabe.
This means you'll have to go visit Gill at Burblebottom. Find Gill and he'll be able to tell you where to find the guppos.
Avar atakali kedot kontan. Velir nila chale.
He used to run a pet shop stocked with guppos, but since they've become more difficult to find, he's diverted his attention to make them grow in numbers instead of giving them away. It's so active out here with the light. One down. You're here for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what that is. Let's see. This is Burblebottom, residents of Gill.
Toodly way off furrow.
Happy to finally get to meet you. He's seen a lot of things wash up on his miniature shore, but nothing as exciting as you.
Gweth,
Says he loves the surf. He'd be in it all day and night if he could.
main ground on a failure. Error.
It must have been upstream only to get to this point in your histo-future. But which way are you going now? With the flow or against?
Iskal neder u. Adenne höva för söba.
It's crazy hard to flipper against the surf, but you can't save the world if you let it sweep you away.
Kofintra bidwitchen.
Either way, it's a shame the surf has gotten so nasty.
Munchhouse. Siommage. A steady of man.
Thinks life is like trying to ride a wave. You need to pick the right one, but you don't really know which one that is until you're on top of it. Better to ride a wave than let the perfect one pass you by.
Right where the cloud saw.
Seems to him that there's always another wave coming along.
Leverson.
Can't imagine how wonderful it's going to be to surf on gooless goo. The world is going to live.
Wifen un.
Can't thank you enough for fighting against the goo.
Tayon Godway Fodison.
Happy you ride alongside the myriad. They bring a real shine to everything they work with.
Mein Frinder.
Says they shine so bright, they glitter on the waves.
Right where the cloud saw. Fest and trip.
But none of that's nearly as important as enjoying the day, right?
Fest and trip.
He never drank from this pond because of the disgusting things done there.
Mas face with which Siommage.
Even the fish stopped drinking here after the pollution made the surf mucked and the air blocked his gills.
Iskal neder u. Pijkikmoder. A steady of man.
He figures the Tree of Life isn't drinking either. Or, well, that's not true. He said it does drink, as it has no other choice. It's a tree, but it's forced to drink poison.
Iskal neder u.
Says that hardly matters. Even if he could have once, who can now?
Ifert nair. Fert eine table.
His friend Wiz needs Guppos for one reason or another, and Gill is ready to point you in the right direction.
Fert eine table.
But here, you're only going to find dead ones. He's pretty sure Wiz wants them alive. Well, at least the ones that aren't already rotting.
I don't know, Munchhouse.
If you head in the right direction, you'll find a clean enough bit of surf to snag yourself some Guppos. Then you can get them to Wiz for whatever he has in mind.
Siommage.
Helping both you and Wiz makes him double happy. Nothing like a story with an unexpected ending. You can always find some use for rubber scrap. Small things for your big ideas. Oh, e-waste. Hard to find. Check out that rubber scrap. Hack and slash. Middle-lifed. Good hit. We're all heroes of our own stories, or so we hope. This is Guppo Grotto. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's not opening on its own. The sun is coming up fast. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You could be a secret here forever. there's the Guppy Hut. Might be some gill-catching gear in there. At various stages of life, we all become memories for others, and just seeing someone acts as a catalyst for the past to seep in again. Memory distortions are troubling. Illusions your mind creates to avoid the memories of being bullied as a kidling. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. So, you remembered the automaton's power-up feature. That's a boost. Give it a little kick. Rough and tumble. That seems to be enough Guppos to provide the Octopod with infinite ammunition. He's surprised the Murk Puff's been able to hold its breath all this time. It's just another proof of the evolutionary change caused by Toxanol's contamination. Being undersurf has meant the Murk Puff has been left alone to munch on the root down there undisturbed. This means the northwest route has suffered more damage than the others. He's realized there's a chance all of you who were gifted with traits beyond the ordinary mammal wouldn't have been so lucky if it wasn't for the contamination's effect on evolution. That was the last of them. You've sealed the fate of the tribe and the tree. It's time for the end game. You have your destiny. Follow it all the way back to Out of Date. He never told anyone about what's next, but he's sure it involves you. Just continue to stay true to yourself and respect others whatever happens. You've become their pride, the guiding light of the tribe. It's time to return to the tree one last time.
To wovu farfarifjo. Tuka kubu.
Out of Date says the signs of the end of the world are everywhere. It seems nature is preparing to take revenge.
Luatolu dum.
The day of reckoning is coming, and you are invited. He can feel you're approaching the end date.
Tolumawawanya.
If you haven't decided whom of all like-minded, light-hearted beings you've met have earned a seat on the Ark yet, it's time to do that now.
Kotuvun ko kumvunkunu. Daimis.
Then grasp your last chance to make sure Lupa Lupin stopped for good. The tree settled its score, but it left yours half done.
Yudnuluavntula hikobe. Ifarikobo faru.
He says you need to see Lupa Lupin eye to eye one last time.
Atu wamawa.
He's happy to help.
Kuzata ghetto.
Seems surprised you have to go. It's quieter here, away from the sky.
Lapu.
The Sifu is seeking revenge too. He hasn't forgotten what Lupa Lupin did, but he also wants to stop him from attacking his tribe. That the world seems to survive doesn't mean he must. He hopes you agree, even if it goes against your light-hearted nature. There's no room for predators in the world the Myriad tribe is building. But he knows this is your fight. You should handle it. Lupa Lupin's own fear was his shackles, not the roots of the tree. It just changed him. You have a chance to stand back and let the tribe handle it. Sifu is ready to step into the fray, are the odds about to change in your favor? If a friend dies, something inside you dies. You can save the Sifu by making yourself a target. You're... Shockwaves spread when the world crumbles. This is not a prophecy, me telling you about the future. It's you shaping it. Here's a vulgar display of power. The more he does, the stronger he becomes. It's time you remember who the real enemy is and stop playing the game his way. This is how it ends. The predator and the world itself suffering. But at least it's a sign they're both still alive.
So, what we have here is a clear matter of life and death, and only you can make a difference.
You continue to make bad decisions and mistakes. Oh, it never ends.
It's easy to make a good decision when there's only one option. The only mistake here is you.
My mistake is letting you speak. My conviction is that the world would be a better place without your voice.
Convincing yourself doesn't win the argument. In the end, we won't remember the words of our enemies, but the silences of our friends.
The weak can't forgive. Forgiveness is a strength. It's not all life and death. It's no better time than now to accept a helping hand. Do you wonder what turn life might have taken if you'd done things different? A left when you went right? A yes when you said no? You've walked the thin line between survival and disaster and haven't lost your balance yet. It's because of you the Tree of Life and the world has been given a second chance. You carried the light in a world full of dark and made a difference in a place that needed change. You allied with the Myriad tribe and acted on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. However, light and dark does simply represent the polarities of life. One can't exist without the other. This isn't the end. Just being surrounded by nature as it heals itself will rejuvenate us. Nature will teach us how to survive. So, trust your conscience to show you the way, and everything else will follow. As foretold, you were destined to split the chains of this world. But you're not alone. The few that shared your perspective and gained your trust will accompany you on your journey. Is there a world out there that's better suited for those imbalanced in their light nature than this one? Whether or not, we'll leave your story on record, so those who come after will know you followed your light nature and saved the world. So, when all is said and done, it turned out to be an unusual ending after all. What could be better than ending the story the right way? Ending it your way, a beginning of something new.